to IMO, in my opinion, with J&M. John, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm very annoyed right now. Do you happen to remember what would happen if you didn't go to school on a certain day or a week, let's say? What would you be doing at home? Definitely not work. I know.
How old am I? You gotta tell me how old I am, because if I'm a certain age,
I know if you're 16, you're watching porn, something like that. Let's do 12.
12 at
9
home.
to 12, something like that.
9 to 12 at home. At that time, in that particular time, or like now? Big difference.
Yeah, there is.
So that particular
I'm
time,
gonna get to it right now.
hold on. So that particular time, I was probably watching very public TV because I didn't have cable. So I would go through my morning routine of watching Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street, Barney, Teletubbies, all that type of shit, until all that kind of got over with. So Jerry Springer came on TV. Then
you're watching Jerry Springer.
No, I was in a.
That's quite a leap from Barney to Jerry Springer.
Yeah. Eventually I'd make my way outside. But there wasn't that many kids out at my, because the kids, like my neighbors, wouldn't be able to come out till like their parents got home, right? Because I was a little older. So like I would grab like a tennis ball and like pretend I was pitching against the stairs or whatever.
Yeah.
So I would do that type of thing. Stupid kid things, walk around the blocks, garbage pick for electronics and shit like that.
Well, obviously it's never happened to us before where we miss a month, 2 months of school.
Yeah, we were not so fortunate.
This is insane, man. They got Zoom meetings every day.
I know. My sister has them
preschooler,
every day.
It's freaking annoying. What grade does she teach?
My sister?
Yeah.
First grade, I think.
First grade.
Yeah.
You got a Zoom meeting every day.
Yeah. She's
It's
always complaining, though.
insane.
She's complaining more about the parents, though, because like the parents are having a hard time sending the right stuff, right? So she'll ask for certain homeworks or whatever, and they'll send, like, she was just complaining today. It's like, oh, this one kid, her brother sends me everything instead of like the 3 assignments I asked for. So it's like 15 assignments or whatever. But again, she works in a pure Hispanic school, so imagine having really, really Hispanic parents that barely speak English trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
So I guess
yeah.
I gotta give them the benefit of the doubt, but I can imagine how hard it is for parents.
It's annoying. If this were to have happened, let's say 95, when I was like in 5th grade.
Well, we wouldn't be able to do it because we didn't have technology like that.
You would get a thing like maybe this big of ditto sheets to do by the end of the year. These
Right.
kids have projects aside from the actual paperwork they have to do. They got science projects they got to do.
Really?
It's insane, man. It's annoying. Aside from the school meeting, that's not 15 minutes. 20 it lasts an hour.
Yeah, I sometimes I'll catch my sister talking to parents on the phone or whatever. I don't know, man. That's kind of weird. I would have loved it though, because you could cheat all you want right now, man. Can you imagine you're in high school, and I'm assuming high school's kind of doing the same thing. I'm gonna guess.
Oh yeah.
Right. So you could cheat all you want right now.
Well, I wouldn't be doing shit because the way it was explained to me was that your grade cannot go lower than it is or than it was when you stopped going to school.
What do you mean?
So
Say it again.
if you had a D, let's say, when this all started, you can only go up from there. You can't get lower than a D.
Really?
So somebody like you would still
Would
be
still
failing. I'd still have a B. But yeah, you can cheat right now. You can. I mean, what are they gonna do?
Are you implying?
It's
Are you
like
implying?
this. Here, see, do you see? Yeah, I did my homework. I got Parkinson's.
Are you implying that I passed from by the skin of my teeth? Is that what you're implying?
I'm sure that's what happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had to like almost pay off my teacher to give me a passing grade so
Are
I
you
could graduate.
serious?
Dude, because I failed algebra, right? You take that freshman year, right?
Sure.
Is it algebra? Yeah, because you take algebra trig your 3rd year. So I failed it my freshman year, so you have to make it up in your senior year, because you don't take one in your senior year. So whatever, it was like we went to Kelvin Park. So Kelvin Park had like freshmen would start. Hey, I love my high school. Stop it. You went there. You have a diploma from there, right?
I did not enjoy my 4 years, 4.5 years. Actually.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, so like freshmen were like they would start third period to 10th period. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like sophomores would do second period to whatever, and then juniors and seniors would start first through eighth. So I was a senior, 1 through 8 periods, and then here comes, you got to take algebra, and algebra is only available for freshmen, so you have to stay there till 10th period. And I was like, this is fucking stupid. So what was I doing? I never went. So now here comes the talks of graduation, because you're always telling yourself, oh no, I'll pay attention later. I'll go to class. Don't worry about it. Third quarter, fourth quarter, I'll go to class, whatever. Here comes fourth quarter, right? And I'm failing, and I'm like, holy shit. They're already talking about graduation. We're already getting measurements and shit. So I go to talk to the teacher, and I'm like, you wanna hook me up? And she's like, no. And I'm like, come on. And she's like, all you gotta do is give me a D, and you'll never see me here again. And
wait,
she's like,
you said she says you got to give her the D? Give me what?
If it was that easy, I would have probably. And she was horrible looking. So whatever. Eventually, I convinced her to give me like one test, and if I passed that one test, then I would.
Just for you.
Yeah, just for me.
Specifically for you.
Just for me.
Oh,
and I was pretty good at taking tests, so I passed and I graduated. And fortunately, that one that one thing would have kept me from graduating on stage.
The days where you could bargain with your teacher. I had 9th period music
With Mr. Rivera con el bacalao.
As a matter of fact, yeah.
Con el bacalao. Oh my God! Only
probably
Kelvin Park
not
people that
good
went there would know who the hell that
It's
is.
probably not good that you said his name, because I'm gonna throw him under the bus right now. He goes, listen, guys. If you want to pass, is the last period, just put the chairs back where they belong. And me being in the teacher's pet all the time, I actually did, and he gave me an A. And everybody else got, D's?
Holy shit.
I mean, there's such idiot. I mean, all we had to do was put the chairs back, and still, nobody but me.
Dude, talking about Mr. Rivera, I had on my freshman year for music, right?
Oh, by the way, sorry. I don't know if you still work there. You probably won't after this.
I had them for freshman year, and I remember just starting high school, right? So you're like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. You get real instruments and this, because it's high school, right? Because you have this mental image of what high school is based on what you see like on TV.
Grandiose idea.
And then you realize that it's fucking not.
Yeah, because you're watching shows with white, in a white suburban, beautiful. Yeah,
absolutely. And then you go to Calvin Park and you realize, yeah, this is not what I thought it was. So I'm taking music class, and I'm taking percussion because I played drums when I was a kid, right? So we're sitting in class, and they don't give no instruments out in the first like week or two, whatever. So here we go.
Afraid you might pawn them.
We'll bleep that. So, wow, you put me on the spot there. So, fucking, he starts handing out, flutes and trumpets and blah, blah, blah. And we're like, what the fuck? Where's our instrument? And he goes, no, grab a chair and just start hitting the chair. So we didn't have actual drums. We were banging on chairs with sticks.
Sad.
This was ridiculous, man.
Sad.
Ridiculous. I remember when I joined like the jazz band when I was in like my sophomore junior, because your brother was still there. It wasn't even jazz. We were playing Hispanic music because Mr. Rivera was Hispanic. Right. So this is how cheap we were. So like the drums that I was playing, like we actually had a piece of crap kit. I had to have Nathan sit in front of it because the damn drum didn't have the legs. The bass drum didn't have legs with the spurs with the spikes to hold it down. God. I had to have Nathan sit in front of it so it wouldn't slide forward.
It's so sad.
Oh my God. But yeah, Kelvin Park was awesome. I had a lot of fun there, man. I remember 90% of the time I spent it in the gym, but
I spent it in I don't know. At home, I think I still passed.
Oh
So
man,
sad.
high school, man.
He gave me a tuba. No, not a tuba, a trumpet, and taught me absolutely nothing.
Really?
I took it home. I tried myself. Big fail, but he didn't show me shit. So I don't know. Maybe
I think the only time I
do-
had fun with Rivera was
He was a nice guy though.
no, he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
I was in the steel drum band, right? That was fun. I like playing steel drum. That was like that tropical thing with
Yeah,
the
they
whatever.
sounded pretty good. Too,
Those are
right?
cool, and we played pretty good. Like, and then I liked it because he gave me the lead, so I was like, I was the only one that had the
Mr. Lead. Wow.
yeah, man. I'm witching going, right?
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, that was fun. We had a lot of fun playing a steel drum. Man, but high school. I remember I had this teacher. His name was Mr. Wagner, right? Wagner. White. I don't know if he was white. I think it was whatever. He was some form of white, right? Whatever. He was a new teacher. He was serious as fuck. Always had his shirt buttoned up, a tie, the whole nine. He was like my
That was rare.
like my history teacher, right? He was by the book, briefcase, walking around, the whole nine, right? So I remember one time we go to class, and he's in like this Hawaiian shirt, shorts, all buttoned, like almost unbuttoned, almost, right? Like, I'm like in my head, and I'm talking to the boys, and I'm like, this dude must have went out partying last night. 'Cause it was like on a Monday. Went out partying last night, got some ass.
In a Hawaiian shirt?
No, not in a Hawaiian shirt, but like he couldn't get up to put on a regular shirt. So
okay.
he looked so out of shape. I'm like, damn, he got some ass. I'm like, he was out of it. Like he was just sitting down. He wasn't really. He's like, read chapter 26, and he just sits down. I'm like, what the fuck? What's wrong with this guy? This guy was like a military dude. Like whatever. That blew my mind, man. I times like that were pretty funny.
I just realized we didn't even have shop class.
I don't think anybody has shop class anymore. I think that's a safety thing.
But back then, everybody did.
Sure, but that's before we realized that. Well, first of all, would you give a student in Kelvin Park a keyhole saw?
No, you'd
That's
end up
probably
with,
not a
You'd
smart
end up
idea.
on the news over
this
there.
was-
Yeah.
And this was when because Kelvin Park kind of watered down. Like my freshman year was pretty bad. So like there was some real like shit going on at
That
Kelvin
would have
Park.
been my junior, something like that.
I don't know. I used to see you at night because you were in night school. Because you were a
That's
dum
right.
dum.
No.
You went to night school with the
Please.
delinquents.
Let me tell you something. When I dropped out, it wasn't because I'm
No,
stupid.
you're not. You're
I'm
absolutely
like, oh
not.
my
You're right.
god, I can't.
Absolutely.
This homework is driving me crazy. I can't, dude. Do you remember Mr. Stein?
That sounds familiar.
He was Earth Science. So obviously
White
he was
dude,
a science
kind of
student. Yeah,
skinny.
had a
With
fro.
like a little
Yeah.
fro-ish kind of thing.
Damn,
I can't
for those standardized test things, I took his Earth Science test or whatever. He said I single-handedly rose the thing of the school,
The standard.
which is horrible. He was like thanking me because I don't know if he got a bonus or something because somebody actually passed in his class, but yeah, So it wasn't that I was stupid. It was just I couldn't deal with all the gangs and this and that.
And that's my point.
All my friends from freshman year were gone the next year, so I was by myself sophomore year.
And that's my point. I mean, when I was a freshman, I remember seeing fights, and those were bad. Now, mind you, Kelvin Park at the time was like super overcrowded, like retarded.
Oh, yeah,
it was like a sea of people. It's insane,
If I took a picture of the inside, it looked like probably Cook County Prison.
dude. Tell me that's
Yeah.
not like that cannot be allowed today, right? Because that's a safety hazard, dude. Like if you were unfortunate enough to have a class on the second floor around the corner where the lunchroom was, you are fucked to get around there.
Yeah, I'd say it's less of a safety hazard and more of a inhumane condition.
Dude,
deal.
I remember because my locker, unfortunately, well, it was all right. My senior year wasn't that bad. Imagine having you remember where the teachers' lounge used to be? So it was like across from our
I think
lunchroom,
so.
like the room
Yeah.
across from it where you would go into the lunchroom. If you had to come out of one of that on that side of the building and go around the horseshoe to like the gym,
Yeah.
you are not getting there in 3 minutes because that's how much time you had to get to class. That was like you needed 20 minutes. That was ridiculous. So that's the whole reason why they did the whole different start schedule, so you can get out at different times, so that you kind of limit the clutter.
Yeah.
Right, which didn't work at all. But man, that was crazy. I used to see some fights, people getting hit with locks.
What would you say the numbers were? That school should hold how many kids, and it held like
50 times more.
Let's not exaggerate. It was
Dude, that's not even
a good 300 more than it should have.
Probably.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
4, yeah.
Yeah. And mind you, that school, if I'm not mistaken, I may be. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. That school was an elementary school when it first started. When it was first built.
I think so.
It was
I heard
a grammar
that
school.
too. Yeah. Like a big elementary.
Yeah, it was one of the bigger ones in the city or whatever. And then I don't know what happened. They made it into a high school for some fucking reason. Then they built North Grand High School, which was supposed to help us with the overcrowdingness. But then it became a school by itself and didn't do anything for us. We were supposed to go there. So like they finished building it in my senior year. And then they were going to send either the freshmen, sophomores there or the seniors, juniors there. Then they said, you know what? Never mind. You guys are fine. Yeah, they made it to itself or whatever. Like, this is fucking stupid. Like, literally, there's too many people here. Now it's a ghost town. Like, I run into some of the security guards that still work there. And they tell me,
is that almost still there?
I don't even. You
She was,
said it. You
younger
said it in a
one.
way. Oh,
Is
I feel like
she?
I remember, but I can't picture her.
Long curly hair, black. Well, they were all like that.
I
right?
think we all had one that
plenty
was
of moose in there.
Oh my god! I feel like there was a security guard that was really, really good looking.
You know what she told me one time?
Who? That's
This
security guard?
was when I started night school. She asked me for something, and I kind of like mumbled like I usually do. And she goes, "Don't be shy. I don't bite." And I was like, "Oh my god, I so want you to bite. I fucking love you."
Oh my god, dude, I feel like I remember a security guard being really, really pretty, but I can't.
She was new because she was
young.
She was maybe like
I
2
can't,
years older
I can't
than
picture
I was.
her. I don't know why I can't picture her.
Glasses.
I can't. I don't know why. I remember that one Hispanic security guard that was a bitch. Shorter chick. She has short hair.
Mr. Valentino.
No, I can't remember her name. She was a bitch. Like, she would get you in trouble for anything if you were. She sees the overcrowdedness of the building. She sees you struggling in between people. But if you're 30 seconds late, forget it. You're going to. What was the discipline room?
She might have been the one that made me go to the office because we had uniforms. It was blue and white obviously.
For seniors. For seniors, it was
for everybody.
No. For seniors, it was white. Oh, it's blue and white, blue jeans and white shirt. My bad. But then if you were a senior, you could wear gray or something.
Well, I was wearing some sweatpants, and I had like a little white line going down.
She got you for that?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Sad.
You know what would kill me? Where I had my ID. So, like, you know how you had to wear your ID. So I would always put it in my back pocket because, you know, back then if you had the cord hanging out your back pocket, you were cool, you know. And she would yell at me for that. I'm like, are we in a place? Like, if you go back and think about it now, is a high school ID so fucking important that you have to have it displayed at all times? Are we in a prison?
That place was like Pentagon security. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
It was retarded. It was retarded. I don't even have to carry my license like that. And that's more important than a high school ID.
Sad.
Whatever. It was.
Did you ever get a headache just going in because of the metal detectors just going off
all day? Oh,
what the fuck?
Do you remember when they started? Okay, so that was around the time I was in high school, around the time where cell phones started becoming a thing, right? And it's not like now where like you have to let them come in with cell phones because that's part of an everyday life now.
Luxury, if your parents could afford it back then.
So I had a cell phone, and they started taking the cell phones away from us, right? And then I remember when the first iPhone came out, and I bought it, and I go to school with it, and he's like, "No, you got to turn it in." I'm like, "Dude, this phone cost me X amount of dollars." He goes, "No, you got to turn it in." I'm like, "Are you gonna pay for it?" Because they would just put them in a bucket and just throw them around, and you have to pick them up at the end of the day. And I'm like, "If you break this phone, are you ready to pay for it?" And he's like, "No." Then I'm like, "I'm gonna keep my fucking phone." Period.
Then what happened?
I walked away from it. I grabbed my phone. I walked away.
What was he gonna do? Yeah.
I mean, I had a point. I mean, think about it. You think the school was ready to put money towards broken cell phones? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of them
let me
probably
tell
broke.
you would have put your cell phone down, and then on top of that would have been various metal objects just slapping the glass. It would have been broken.
And they were treating them like shit at the time. Like they were just throwing them around. High school was so much fun, man. I remember.
See, it was fun for you. It wasn't for me. So when I went to night school, my dad used to pick me up. So one time on the Lowell side, I think, sitting there waiting for my dad to pick me up. It's like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And this guy comes out and points a gun right in my face.
No shit.
Yeah.
Are you serious? I feel like I never heard the story.
Oh, yeah. She's like, throw this down. And I'm like, okay. And I'm struggling to. That's not how you do it. Dude, I'm a little chubby white guy just sitting here causing no problems. What are you messing with me for? Why are you hassling me, man?
Oh, my God.
That's the type of school it was, though.
We had shit like that, though. Everybody, in school. Then in sports, we would always get into fights. When we played basketball, I mean, I played 3 years because my fourth. Oh my God!
Did you also fail that?
No,
okay.
I sucked, but still, I was pretty athletic. I dunked on a few people in high school, so fuck you. Nasty too.
I can't say that I have.
So my senior year, right? I was probably in the best shape, whatever that consisted of, because this string was probably thicker than I was at the time.
And your limbs, at least.
I was working at Kittyland at the time in the summer. So like I was biking from my house to Kittyland, which was a pretty good ride. So I was in pretty good shape, like running wise. So my senior year was probably like my best year when I started. Like I was running good. I was scoring pretty good at the time. Not great, but I was scoring better than I was when I was like, the rest of my years. So we got this. Remember it was Heineken? Remember Heineken, the athletic director?
No, belly like a
so he became the athletic director at the time, right? Because he used to be Gutrich.
Big spot,
right? Oh no, I'm lying. Was it who was it? It was
Hove?
Heineken. No. Hove was gone. It was Heineken, and then Gutrich became the athletic director, I think, and then Eric Colville, who's on my Facebook, you might see this. He had left because he was the assistant coach for varsity, and then they hired this new guy, this white boy, right? And he was new at the school, so he was serious about certain things like progress charts or whatever. So he started handing out progress charts, right? So I had an elective as first period, which means what? You don't need that class. Yeah. It's a filler class, right? I should have went because I'm acting. I was film study. Who knew? I never went, right? Because it was first period. I'd rather get there later, right?
Yeah.
So I never went to first period. It didn't matter because it wasn't going to keep me from graduating or anything, right? So I was failing it. So here come the progress charts, and I forget her name. It's Johnston or some shit. She didn't want to sign it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, fuck it. Here, I'd sign it. So I forged her signature, right? So I didn't know that. I'm going to say her name was Miss Johnston. She was really good friends with the assistant coach.
There you go.
So he goes and checks up on the signature, and then I get kicked off the team. Right? Now, mind you, before that happened, we had went to go play in a tournament, right? And obviously there were more popular kids than I was and better kids that played basketball than I was. So we're on the bus going to whatever school, right? Yeah. And all of us, I'm in the middle of the bus, and the cool kids are in the back because that's where all cool kids go. All of a sudden, it starts smelling like marijuana in the bus. It just smells like marijuana. Dude, the bus driver was the first. He started turning on the light of the bus. He's like, I smell that shit. And here comes Gutrich and those people, and they start yelling at him, right? So they're smoking an illegal substance on a bus, and no one gets in trouble. Why? Because the good players are doing it, and here comes the player who got most improved in the off season, and I get kicked out for forging a signature to a class that I didn't need to take.
Oh boy.
I got fucking screwed out of my senior year.
Colton Park for you.
Dude, I got screwed out of my senior year of basketball. It was ridiculous. Over nothing.
Fuck.
That was dumb. I get it. I was failing. Should I have forged your signature? No. Cool. I get it. Do I have reason to fail the class? Yeah. I don't fucking need it. The fuck do I need film study for? It's a fucking elective. I chose to pick it. I should choose not to go to it.
Oh,
Easy
yeah.
enough, right? But yeah.
But don't you usually choose things you like? I mean, that you
There
wanna
wasn't that
do?
many things there.
You don't like too many things, do you?
Calvin Park didn't have too many options. It was like film study and like, I don't know.
Blah blah blah. Join a gang.
There you
Blah,
go.
blah,
That was
blah,
the other one.
Join a gang.
A lot of people took that class.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Want to hear a funny story?
Shoot.
You remember Mr. Carney? So he was a French teacher.
I know. I know.
Tall, slender.
Mate, no.
Well,
I want to know.
I'm in his French class with Barbie. We were both in there. I think Soraya was in there too. So he goes, as you guys know, I'm the coach for cross country. So if anybody wants to join cross country, which is more of a white sport, let's just say it as it is. Just let me know. Raise your hands. Obviously, nobody raised their hands. I sure as hell wasn't going to. So he goes to the one girl, the biggest girl in the class. She's like 5'1", 280, 290 pounds. He goes, "Hey, miss, you look like you need would you like to?" And she's like, no. And I died inside. I was laughing inside and felt so horrible for her. Like, that shit you just can't get away with now. He would have been brought up on charges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dude would have been, he would have never had a career.
But that's the nice part about being in school back then. It's not like that anymore. You can't get away with anything. My God.
But man, high school was fun, man. I remember all the chicks, man. You don't know about that, but me?
Oh, I know.
Oh, man.
I know because I used to stare all the time.
You used to stare. You ever did shit?
You know those
though.
little holes in the back seat? So these girls would wear, I mean, girls like 13, 14 years old looking like the bodies of a 23-year-old.
You think so?
A lot of them, yeah.
I think it's worse now. I think it's worse now than it was back then.
No,
like when they were in high
was
school,
pretty going on back then. Yeah, I remember that.
But
one
in
girl
high
with
school,
hole
though,
in the back, she's like bending over, and I could
all
see
you see
her,
is crack.
But what an ass on her! My God.
What'd you do about it though?
I stared. At that point, I had a mushroom haircut.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I was
your
about
haircut.
40 pounds heavier than I should have been. I didn't get in better shape till I started going to night school. That was like freshman, maybe sophomore year.
Dude, I remember. Okay, so back then, I had a lot of confidence going. Well, I didn't because I went from.
Yeah, you always did.
No. Because when I'm the first one to admit, I'm not the best looking dude right now, but I'm good. I'm okay, right? When I was a kid, I was an ugly kid. I had a baby. People like I remember my mom, my sister, and like my family said, "Oh, you were cute when you were a baby." I'm like, yeah. Then I had that stretch where like I had my dad's haircut. I had that pushback thing, and all that, and then whatever. Then when I got to high school, I started doing the whole, fade. Like David used to start cutting my hair, and I had my hair pushed forward or whatever. I had the whole Daddy Yankee look going.
Whatever that is.
No. I literally thought I was Daddy Yankee. Like I would wear Yankee hats, the whole 9 yards. We would wear shirts that were 6 times too big for us.
Is that where Kangry came from?
Oh yeah. Yeah. They used to call me that. Yeah.
Not me.
I know you didn't, but you actually knew my name.
Nicknames.
And then like when I got to high school, because I remember when I was in grammar school, they used to call me Bubble Cheeks. So I had really big cheeks, right? You remember. So when I left to high school, I couldn't wait because I'm finally gonna get separated from that nickname that followed me for 12 years in grammar school. When I get to high school, they gave me Flaco as a nickname.
Well suited.
I started talking to chicks, and chicks were talking to me, and this and that. And I remember, man, like going to certain places in the school to make out, or more than make out, Backseat girls were nasty back then, bro. They were nasty. They were sus. Sus, man. Like, you know what the best spot was in high school? So, in the auditorium, right? The stage door. Remember there was 2 doors like right next to each other? It was the one to go to the where the seats were, and then right on the floor there was another door that would lead to the back of the stage. So that door, I figured out if you pull it hard enough, it would open, right?
Yeah.
So no one was there. And even then, remember back then when if your teacher was absent, they would put you in the balcony? Remember that?
Yeah.
Because then they stopped doing that, and you actually went to go to the classroom. So I would take chicks there, go make out, whatever. And then even if the classes were going on in the back, like in the whatever on the balcony, we would like hide behind the curtain. And then I'm pretty sure if you look down, all you see is the curtain kind of moving around, and all you see is feet on the on the bottom. Oh my God, it was. I don't want to say I was a pimp
Player,
but I was playing them hoes, man. I was playing the game, man, because like I had so many girls that I was talking to, and I dated one girl in high school. One girl in high school. In 4 years, I dated one girl out of a bunch. Ironically, she used to write me the cutest letters. I still have them.
should have married her.
No, I don't even want to know what she looks like, because we all know when we look back at girls that we thought were good looking.
Yeah, not so much anymore.
The percentage of that. See, me and you, hey, we lucked out. I think we still look pretty good for our age and how many years we've been out of high school. I think I still look pretty good.
She's got to be a troll right now.
Dude, there's some girls right now that I'm Facebook ruined things for certain people. Cause
yeah, that fantasy you had. Oh, she must be the most beautiful thing right now. Walking down some runway, and she's walking down an alley, giving heads, and fucking smoking crack.
She's walking down too many aisles of McDonald's. Is what she's been doing.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah, man, I had a bunch of girls, and she used to write me like these real cute notes. My problem is in life with relationships has always been I get bored. Right, I get bored. That's my thing. There's only a few in my life that I really had
with her for like what 12, 13 years.
Yeah. She's special, man. We're not talking about her.
What was her name? What did she look like? No, we're not talking.
Yeah, we're not talking about her.
We're not going there.
Yeah, that still hurts. I'm scarred inside. I'm not, but this girl used to, because I still have the notes, which is weird. I don't know why I kept them. And this is why I get bored. So
but
like,
you still got them now?
Yeah, I still have them, and they're in a box over there.
Sentimental ass.
I am. I'm a very sentimental person. So the notes all start all cute, right? Like, hey babe, and blah blah blah, and thanks for walking me to, because we have to write letters back then. We didn't have Facebook to instant message people, Oh, thanks for walking me to class. Today was fun. I'm so glad we're together, and this and this and this and that. Then the second one goes, oh, this is still fun. This is amazing, blah, blah, blah. And I think this was after I smashed it. Like around this time was when I hit it. So then the next letter goes, so, hi, I don't know why you didn't respond or you haven't written back, but I still like you, and I'm happy we're still together. Then the last one's like, okay, I don't know why the fuck you're not answering my questions. Dude, I would go blank on people. Like, once I got to that finish line, right,
Yeah.
which is their, below their belt line, I kind of got bored. I don't know. It's me. Like, the chase is so much fun, right?
Chase is fun.
The chase is fun. Once you get to the goal line and you get it in there, you score. It's just like, now what, right?
Yeah.
It kind of loses its value in a way. So then I would move on and whatever. Then certain ones have gotten in my life, and those are different, right? Like MJ was one of them. She's forever going to be in my life.
There it is.
Not in my life. She's going to be forever like part of my mental history.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them that I can't forget. There's a lot of them I don't remember their names at all. What about you, John? How many
high school? Okay, high school wise. Here was my high school experience. I'm a fat kid from freshman year till junior year when I decide I don't want this shit anymore. So I leave, drop out, go to work. My mom runs into the principal and she says, well, we got a night school thing going on. He can do that. So I do that. So when I come back, like the 8 months later, a year later, something like that, I'm in shape. I look a lot better than I did. And it's like you've got ugly chicks there, and then you've got married chicks, like 17-year-old, 18-year-old married chicks that I thought were cute. And I would talk to them, and they'd be like, yeah, I'm married, and my parents had to sign for me to get married. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, there was literally, my pool was gone. There was no women to mess around with there. It was sad. And then, like, towards the very end.
What are you talking about? I messed around with one of your night school chicks. You remember?
Who was that?
I forget her name. I remember because we used to have.
Well, it was a decent group of people. The people I had class with definitely were, yeah.
I remember because we used to have basketball practice. Like I think it was my junior year or my sophomore year or whatever. We used to have practice kind of late, right? Already when night school would start.
Okay, yeah.
Right? 'Cause remember, I used to see you in the hallways, and we were coming out of practice, not coming out of practice, like, you know, getting water or whatever. And I started seeing this chick, and she was in night school, and she looked older. Obviously, she looked older. And, you know, she would eyeball me, I'd eyeball her, or whatever. And I don't know how the hell, but one day, she's waiting for me, like at the lunchroom by the gym door.
Yeah.
And we just started talking about something. I don't know. And then she's like, "Oh, we should meet outside after class or whatever." I mean, after whatever. Cool. We go out there, start making out, blah blah blah. Like a week later, I literally smashed her in the locker room, on top of the brand new weight equipment they had bought. Man, it was so much fun back then. It was. Now here's the crazy part. So now I look at it and I'm like, okay, you have kids, right? So your kids are gonna go to high school at some point.
3.
They're gonna do the same
It
thing.
was the French coming back in. Thank you, Mr. Carney.
Imagine them doing the same. And you have a girl.
No, she's gonna be homeschooled. She's gonna wear the same wardrobe I had to wear, like in grammar school, and that was these heavy cotton joggers with the heavy cotton tops that were gray, blue, turquoise. Why was my mom giving me turquoise? I don't understand, but yeah, that's the stuff she's gonna be wearing.
Yeah, that's not gonna fly.
I know it's not.
I don't have kids, but then, like, remember I mentioned it before about my cousin who I love amazingly, and her daughters who I love to death. They're at that age too, and I'm like, part of me is like
17ish, 18ish.
Yeah. So Chachi, the small one, Natalia, she's a junior. She's gonna be a junior. Yeah, junior, senior high school. And the other one's in college, and I'm like, yeah, shit's going down. It's just like so weird to see because like they're so young, and I'm like, wait a minute, I did the same shit. Like it's weird to look at kids, not kids, teenagers or whatever.
Yeah.
Young adults.
Well, that's the thing. They're still kids in your eyes.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Man, I knew. Did you ever think about going to college?
Yeah.
Why didn't you
go? Because I know why I didn't. Coven Park High School, and they didn't teach me jack shit. And I decided I was done with the education experience.
Okay.
Sorta.
I am not a God-believing man, right?
In the least.
Shame
on you. Go ahead.
Sure. If there was a God, I would say something like this. God knows why I didn't go to college. Because if I would have went to college, I would have like 40 kids and like 3 STDs. Dude, I went.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was fortunate enough to do a Walmart commercial like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever. And after that, I got invited to a thing that they do every year. It's like a shareholders meeting, and they send people from every store. They have, artists and all that. And it's held in Bentonville, Arkansas.
I was gonna say Bensonville.
Um, and it's at the University of Arkansas, right? Big college, whatever. It's in the middle of nowhere, though. So we all stayed in the dorms and all that stuff. Once we found the one street that had alcohol,
the big hangout spot,
dude, holy shit. When my boss warned me, he's like, dude, when you go over there, it's a fucking party, right? I'm like, whatever. It can't be that much fun, right? So the first 2 days, because we were there for a week, the first 2 days we were, attending all the meetings and whatever, because we didn't know where this street was. Dude, when we found this street, we never went to another meeting ever again. for 4 days straight, it was nothing but drinking and fucking. That's what it was. Like, shots were a quarter.
Jeez.
Okay, and this was around when I think the Lakers and the Magics were in the final at the time. There was a lot of it going on. And whose face was on all these TVs when commercials would go on? My face. So imagine, for 4 days straight, if I'm walking around, and then with the boys I was staying with, they would, every time the commercial would come on, they would make a big deal about it, right? So guess what happens to all the girls when they see me?
It piques their interest.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude. If I would have went to a college like that and had access to alcohol, dude, I don't even know what to say. I bagged more chicks. And this is bad for me to say. I got with more girls in 4 days than I did in years. It was ridiculous. They were coming in and out. Like, now serving number 26. It was ridiculous. Man, that was fun. Like, I think about it. Shots were a quarter. Man, that was a party. Back to schooling.
Please no.
What?
I don't want to talk about Common Park no more.
Okay, cool.
No, go ahead.
So I've there's a topic I've heard about school and what they teach in school. A lot had to do with like teaching LGBTQ at schools.
I can't even say. I say LGBTV.
Okay, so teaching about gays, lesbians, transgenders, all that stuff, and teaching that in schools, and a lot of people having an issue with it.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Jesus.
We'll talk about
Christ.
it for like 5 minutes.
For me, it's be who you want to be at a certain age. Like you said, I got 3 kids. If one of them turned out to be something other than straight, I'm not like crazy kicking them out the house or anything like that. I'm just like, you know what? Think about it. Really, really think about it. But nowadays, it's like, hey, you're 10, you want to cut your dick off? Hey, go for it. No, I'm not down with that.
Do people really say that? Is that really how it's said?
I don't know.
I feel like a lot of people.
I've heard stories about.
I feel like people really exaggerate certain things like that. Like it doesn't happen that way. I'm not saying all the time. I'm pretty sure somebody said something like that before. But for me, in general, I don't think it happens in that form.
What do you mean it doesn't happen in that?
Like
form?
no one goes, hey, so you want to cut your dick off?
I'm not saying it's said like that. I'm being sarcastic.
And I don't think it's influenced that way either. I think being gay is more acceptable now, obviously. And it's shown no different. Okay. Again, I'm all about fairness and equality, right? I think it should be shown and displayed the same way normal relationships are shown. So when you see a commercial on TV of an old couple holding hands, we don't see nothing wrong with that. But if we see 2 men holding hands, we say that's a bad influence. Correct?
Okay, so I am seeing that a lot. Like that Discovery for Prep commercial.
That has the
runs
guys
all the fucking time.
That's the one with the guys
and
or whatever.
This queen, yeah, that one.
But how much
So growing
heterosexual
up-
how much heterosexual do you see? You see a lot of that.
In that commercial?
No, in
Yeah,
general.
yeah,
In
well,
general,
yeah,
you
in
see a
general.
lot. So that's what I'm saying. I grant you that maybe we don't think that's the right thing, right? I'm not saying I agree. Or let's just say we don't. And I'm all for, you know, whatever you want to be. You do what you do. That's whatever you like. That's what you like. But let's say I was against it. Is it fair for it to be less than? Right? It shouldn't be. It should be equal to.
Yeah, but then there's things that come with that. Like, do you want your kids coming up to you and asking, oh, why are those two guys holding hands and kissing in that commercial? Like,
But it shouldn't. Yeah, but it shouldn't be that big of an issue to explain the situation. It would be like when you see a woman and a man kiss on TV. Do you have to explain that?
No.
Should you explain
But
that?
that's what they're used to, women and men.
Sure.
It's not a big deal to explain. I can do it. But I mean, it's almost like they're overdoing it now. That they're like forcing it, kind of. It seems like.
But again, I would
on
ask you:
TV.
Do we force heterosexuality? So you see it all the time.
No.
But
No.
because it's to some people the norm, does that make it okay? I mean, it's like how I feel right now with movies, and maybe people are going to take this out of proportion, but empowering women right now is the big thing, especially in cinema, right?
Yeah.
So like if you watch Endgame, the Avengers movie, right? The women have to have their moment, right? All together. They have to have, and that's okay. I get it. But then you're like shoving it at me.
Yeah.
Right? You're forced, like the new Terminator, the last Terminator movie that came out, right? They went away from having male leads to women leads.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with. But
Birds of Prey.
It's almost like
Yeah.
you're forcing it in instead of it being natural. Now, I agree they should have just as much attention as men. Absolutely. I 100% think that should be the same. Equal, right? Because equal rights, even though it's not equal rights in the workplace ever, but that's a different conversation.
It is where I work.
Dude.
All my bosses are women. So.
Oh, my God. Where was I going with this? I think when it comes to should they teach it in school, I believe that you shouldn't teach anything that can influence people, because school should remain neutral.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel the same way I feel about this particular topic, the same way I feel about religion. Like, people complain about them taking religion out of schools or not permitting the Bible in schools. There's a very good reason for that. Right? We don't teach that because that's a faith-based religion.
Yeah.
You're influencing what's taught in that book on children who may want to do it or may not, right? So you have to stay neutral, right? So now if you want to teach...
It's odd because this country was based on Christianity, but it was also based on...
Sure, but the reason it was based
freedom.
on that... But it was based on that religion because they wanted to separate themselves from the Christianity religion that they were tied into.
Yeah.
On the other side of the planet. You know, it was different, you know? So that's why they came up with the whole concept of free religion. But when it comes to that, I think I would do, if you want to teach the history of it, right? If you want to say, okay, in 2001, gays and lesbians were given a right to this or this or that, right? I don't have an issue with that. Right? I don't have an issue with it. Like, if you want to teach that about religion too, sure. If you want to say...
That's what I was about
If you want to say if the Christian faith or religion began in 1922 and started in this place in the planet, I'm okay with that. Now, if you're going to tell me, if you want to teach, well, in the beginning, God said, let there be light.
Yeah.
And it was good. I have an issue with that. Or if you want to say that all humanity came from Adam and Eve, which is completely impossible, in my opinion, because I don't think you can have that many kids to populate the planet. But whatever. I have an issue with that. The same way, if you want to teach that, if the teacher of that class says, well, being gay does this for you or whatever, I have an issue with that. But if you want to teach the history of it, I'm okay.
Okay. Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
That's fair. Yeah. And going back to that commercial, let me ask you something. Do gay people want people to believe that they have AIDS, that most of them or all of them have HIV and AIDS?
No, but it's...
So let me ask you something. It's because why are most of those couples gay in that commercial? Okay, they're trying to get away from that stigma that all gay people have AIDS, but then you give a HIV pill, you're showing it to the world, and then you're putting all gay couples on it.
I'm gonna give you a reason why I think that is. If I had to guess, now mind you, I'm not gay. If two gay men have sex, right? Obviously, no one can get pregnant at that point.
No.
Okay, so think of the lack of protection in that particular case, right? There probably is none, right? Maybe, right? Let's just say. So the chances of contracting something are exponentially risen, right?
Higher.
So I think that's why it's more in that particular sense.
I understand that, but like I said, I thought they were trying to get away from that stigma that
I think it's
gay people have AIDS, and then
I think it's kind of a weird commercial to be a part of. I would think, like if I was gay, I don't know if I would 100% agree with that commercial, but
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Odd choice.
But if I was a betting man, I would think that's probably why they send it, because
maybe
most gay, I would assume, again, I'm not sure. Most gay men, since there's no worry of pregnancy, probably don't use that much protection to protect themselves against stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So who knows?
Go to Boys Town and ask around.
God,
I don't know.
I remember. Oh my God, I remember. I saw things that I never thought I would see. So like, I remember I was dating a girl. She's actually still my friend. And she was bisexual, right? She liked both. She used to live on top upstairs from my cousin's house. And I saw her one time. Man, that girl's cute, whatever. And I'm trying to convince my cousin to like say something to her or whatever.
Yeah.
I think one day, I think she did mention it or something. So one day I'm at my cousin's house. I'm in the back porch, and she lived downstairs. And upstairs, here she comes. She comes out, right? And she yelled at me from up there. She's like, "Are you gonna talk to me or what?" And so we started talking, whatever. Hey. We started hanging out, whatever. And her best friend, right, who their relationship is amazing, man. Like, they're still best friends till now. They've been best friends since they were children. It's beautiful to see like that. Like we're friends, we're best friends, but like their relationship is like, dude, like they're family. Almost. Tight. Yeah, like it's a beautiful thing. Until this day, they're still the same way. That's awesome. He's gay, right? And I never had a problem with hanging with gay people. So whenever we would go out to parties or whatever, you know, it's mostly, you know, a gay party, whatever. And that's cool, no problem, because I was there talking with a girl. Didn't bother me, right?
Yeah.
But my goodness gracious, dude, it was like whenever she would go away for a second to use the bathroom or something, bro, I felt like,
oh, here they came.
Oh my God. I was like the target, bro. Like the target just popped up on everybody. I'm like, holy shit. Like, never seen it like that. You know, a few times I went to Boytown, to a couple of the clubs there with, you know, girls I was talking with. Same thing. If the girl went away, I would have to put myself up against a wall right? So I can see in front of me. Because if I was in the middle, forget it.
Wait, how up against the wall? With your hands touching the wall?
No, not that serious.
Okay.
Not that serious.
Okay.
But man, it was good times, man. I meet a lot of them are really good people, They're real friendly and talkative and stuff like that. I never had an issue, but it was fun. You ever have any gay experience, John?
No. I've gotten hit on.
Somebody hit on you? A guy hit on you? Oh, wait, I know
Several
somebody
times.
who hit on you.
Who?
That we all know, or a lot of us know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
He's not my friend on Facebook, so I have no problem saying this. I think we all know a guy named Gabi Chang.
Why? No, don't say names.
Man, I can say names. It's my show. I can do whatever the fuck I want to do.
You know what? That's after the fact.
I don't care.
No, I'm saying after the fact.
He had a thing for you, man.
Did he say that?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm not gonna.
I mean, that's odd now, cause.
Do you still hang out with him?
No.
When's the last time you saw him?
No. But I'm saying
20 years.
The one day we go out, and we went out as like buddies. We're buddies.
That's how it all starts.
And that's how it ended. Like, yeah. We go out the one day. It was just me and him. We ate at a restaurant. I think what else we did? So watched the movie or something.
How romantic.
And then, oh my god. Then come and find out like a year later he's full blown gay, and it's like that was weird. Then was he hitting on? I don't know what the hell that was. Then what was going on in his mind? Oh god, I don't want to know. My cousin, the same thing. My cousin, it was a group of friends. My cousin goes out with him. He actually said that he went around the car and opened the door for him, which that would have raised red flags for me. That did not happen to me. But yeah, that was kind of weird. I don't know. So I guess, yeah, he was hitting on me. But I was talking about other stuff.
He was cool.
I was walking out of a bank, and that guy goes, "Oh my God, look at his arms." And I turn around, and he's like one of those way out there ones, and he's staring me up and down. And
like that other guy we used to know, Amos. Remember Amos?
Oh my God. Why do you keep on saying people's names? Stop.
Flying. You said a name earlier today you weren't supposed to say.
I don't remember, but yeah, okay, so that particular guy, see, you said his name. Now I can't say the story.
Whatever.
I went over to my friend's house, and we were going to play video games. It was late. And the way you would get to my friend's house, you couldn't drive in through the front of the house. You would go through his alley and then go into his yard, because he had one of those houses that were in the back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So as I make the turn to go into his alley, I saw that particular guy at 11 o'clock at night holding hands with another guy walking down an alley at 11. It was like, wow. Yeah, so that happened. I wish you wouldn't have said his name.
That's okay. It's all right. No big deal.
Not that anybody
you're
is
big,
gonna.
You're a big guy.
This.
You can defend yourself. You'll be all right.
Oh, I would hope that I would be able to beat him up. If he beat me up, I'd be.
I just remember the way he would like. When when the church would get all crazy, and he would just start with his really high pitched.
That's where it came from. Would you do us the honors?
Oh no!
Yeah,
okay.
do it.
No, not today. Not today. Some other day. But yeah, he was that dude was weird, man. That dude was weird. If anyone needed Jesus, he needed Jesus bad.
And he was there to. And he didn't take advantage of the fact that he was in church.
Man,
I guess.
Wow. So yeah, this was anything else you want to say, man, before we call it?
No, I'm good.
Good?
Like I said, if you have kids, keep them away from Kelvin Park. That school.
Kelvin Park is a grammar and high school right now, by the way.
Grammar and high school.
Yeah, because it was so dead. It was so dead that they made the first floor into a grammar school, and then the 2 floors up top are high school.
I'll tell you why it's dead. Most of the kids got shot.
I heard it's not. Well, you know what? The security guard that I know, he told me that they had an issue with keeping kids. They just can't keep kids in there. they just go in and go home. Now, mind you,
It's
I was
like,
guilty
so
of
it
that.
hasn't
I was
changed.
guilty of that all the time. Yeah, because I
Me
did it all
too.
the time.
Every time I had to take a shit, I'd walk right out.
Oh my God, yeah, I remember.
It was funny how the front was guarded like it was the White House, but then everything else was like
Yeah, because I
you
remember
walk
like
right through.
I remember when the other place to make out with chicks was in between the doors. You know how it had the actual
Yeah,
door that
the
was
double
outside
doors.
the double
Yeah,
door.
yeah.
So if you get through the first door, like there was a space that you can turn into like a little corner, and you could, I was there the whole time. That was the place to make out with chicks at the time, man. It was awesome. And they would run their fingers through my hair because yes, back then I had hair, long hair too at one point. Good times. But
they can run it through your scalp now. Same thing. No.
nah, I miss my hair.
Yeah.
Even though I love having a beard. I didn't have a beard back then. If I would have had a beard back then, holy shit.
Yeah, there were some kids that did. I don't know what they were putting in their meat.
Dude, I had a kid. Oh,
God.
remember the kid I told you? We're not gonna say names, cause yeah, we're not gonna say names. The one I told you that he's in jail right now because of a scandal with a student. Remember I told you something about that?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, well, we're not gonna talk about it just because, I have respect for their family. When we were in 7th grade, dude, he had a pretty good beard, a pretty good mustache in 7th grade. I didn't start growing a beard until I was like in my mid-20s.
I am.
And you're still struggling to grow a beard.
This is like a month and a half of growth right here. It's sad.
Holy crap.
I might be like half Indian because Indian people don't
don't
grow
know.
facial hair. Like,
Dude.
It's
but
me.
I don't know. I agree with you. It's like sometimes some people were just like they were just like men already, at a young age.
There's a guy that was balding in junior year of high school.
Yeah, but I lost my hair early too. I lost my hair right after high school. I took it off when I was 20.
The guy was like 16.
Okay, yeah, maybe
Like,
that's a bit.
young.
Yeah, I guess.
That would be fucking depressing.
All right. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any comments, put them on the bottom. If you have any suggestions for topics, put it in the bottom also.
Any KP alumni that differ with my
Opinions.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty. Oh, that school was great. Bullshit.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Bullshit.
If you don't like our opinion, I got 3 words for you. Thanks for listening.